You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hello and welcome to episode 242 of the Rusted Robot Podcast for Sunday, April 28th, 2019.
X-Ray Delta 1, this is Mission Control. Roger, you're 1930.
Just what do you think you're doing, Dave?
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
All right, I'll take a shot at it. What the hell, it works on Star Trek.
There's a fleet of Star Destroyers coming out of hyperspace in Sector 4.
Ship, abandon ship. All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close that circuit.
Come quietly or there will be trouble.
I am the law.
Put down your weapon. You have 20 seconds to comply.
And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
And now we take a quantum leap forward.
Hey gang, we're back at it. 3 weeks.
Been a while.
Yeah. So I'm Sean.
I'm Josh.
I'm Kitty.
So the last 2 weeks, we did not record an episode. So I think we're well due, aren't we?
Missed a fair amount of stuff.
There's been a lot of stuff going on in the world of pop culture, and of course everybody knows about it. So yeah. So we just end it here and thank them for coming by and talk to them next week.
Nah, I think there's a few more things to talk about.
There probably is, right?
First of all, this episode is going to be completely 100% Endgame spoiler-free.
Yes, that's good to get out of the way because we haven't seen it.
No.
So we can't spoil it.
Yeah.
So there's that. So why haven't we recorded in the last couple weeks?
Well, we had the con, so that kind of took up a lot of our time.
Right, we did have Timmins Con 2019, the 9th annual, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because next year's 10.
Yes, next year is the Big 10. So yeah, I think it was a pretty good time. You had fun?
I don't know.
It was busy.
You sold a lot at your booth?
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah?
Pretty good.
What kind of booth did you have?
Jump City.
What's that?
It's a comic book and collectibles store.
I actually saw the article about you in the Timmins Times.
Oh, yeah.
It was mostly focused on our special guest, Alison Burnett, but of course they stuck Jump City right at the end of the article. Didn't actually say what the address was.
38 Pine Street North, Timmins, Ontario, Canada.
Be there or be square?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, although you could also be square while you're there.
Okay. All right. But yeah, they did.
You know, I finally figured that out.
What's that?
Like, I don't know, a year ago.
What that expression means?
Be there or be square.
What does it mean? I have no idea.
Because if you're square, you're not around.
Oh.
That's clever.
You think that's what it actually means? Or don't be square as in you're not cool. You're a square dude.
But
I like yours. That's pretty neat. You're not around the area, so you're square. Okay.
You are square.
Good stuff. All right. I think we just solved the mysteries of the universe right here and now.
Pretty much.
That's awesome.
I think science is wrapped up now.
And that's why our listeners tune in.
Yep.
Because...
for science.
Right. It's true. I read an article today that the universe is not as old as they suspected by about 500 million years. But it's expanding faster than they thought.
That's pretty close, though.
Yeah, it's pretty
like
close.
500 million.
Okay, well, where did you get the article? And was it peer-reviewed?
I don't know, but...
Probably not.
I didn't...
Was it written by The Onion?
No.
Beaverton?
It was shared on Facebook. And,
that's
apparently
reputable.
It is.
Sure.
But apparently one of the people who was in the study was a Nobel Prize winner.
Doesn't mean anything. They could have won the prize for chemistry. The Peace Prize. Obama could have written it. He's won a Nobel Prize.
Also, I could just write down that I won the Nobel Prize. It doesn't make it real. I'll post it on Facebook right now. I won the Nobel Prize, guys.
Because there's one for peace and one for poetry.
That's true.
So, you know.
Not that that's any less of an accomplishment.
Yes, it is.
Can I get one for, like, looking good on the front page of the newspaper?
If you bring peace. If it seriously contributes to world peace, yes.
If we all go to Jump City and hold hands, that's peace. Yeah, there you go.
I can tell you about a peaceful yet exciting day at Jump City.
Oh?
May the 4th this year is going to be Free Comic Book Day.
May the 4th, that's Star Wars Day.
Yep.
And it's also Free Comic Book Day?
It is. It is both at the same time.
It's all the things.
It's all the things.
Wow. What does Free Comic Book Day consist of?
All participating realtors will have a selection of special comics for groups of all ages, and we will bestow upon each customer one comic as supplies last.
So they're free?
Yes.
All you have to do is go to your location.
Yeah.
At 38 Pine Street North in Timmins, Ontario. in the basement of the 101 Mall.
Or any comic book shop near you on May 4th this year. It is always the first Saturday in May.
Huh. Well, that's good to know.
It is good to know.
And then while you're there picking up your free comic books, maybe you'll buy other stuff.
Maybe.
But that's not required.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. That's high quality information, Kitty.
Yeah, love reading, guys.
Yes. So we had no episode last week because it was Easter, the week before because Timmins Con, but we're back, we're here, and we got things to talk about, so we shall. Let's do that right now. What should we talk about first?
Trailers?
You want to get the trailers right out of the way?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we won't play it because it's been played to death, but the trailer for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker came out about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yes. And we just watched it now. Actually, you've seen it already. Kitty and I hadn't watched it till just now. I'd been saving it for recording purposes.
It looks pretty cool.
It looks pretty cool. We got Palpatine's laugh at the end.
It looks meh.
It looks meh?
Looks meh.
You're going to see it in theaters.
Probably not.
Really? Oh, even though it's a J.J. Abrams production?
It's him trying to fix somebody else's mistake.
The Ryan Johnson debacle? However you say that word?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, I'll wait until I hear trusted people say that they like it before I'll go to the theaters.
Okay. What about you?
I often miss a lot of things in theaters anyway, so it'll have to depend on whether or not I have money at the time.
Okay. Well, it's coming out of Christmas, so you might not because Christmas is gift buying season.
Yeah.
Right.
I often have nothing around Christmas, so if it comes out then, sorry.
That's all right. So we have cool desert scenes. We have Rey doing a badass pose with her lightsaber. We see...
she does a flippy-do.
Yeah, flippy-do.
That might be the coolest thing in the whole movie, and they might have just shown us most of it, so...
We get to
Hopefully
see...
that's not the coolest thing in the whole movie.
Hopefully not. We get to see Lando in some kind of spaceship.
Yeah,
That's the
Lando and
Millennium
Chewie.
Falcon.
Is it the Millennium Falcon? Yeah. Okay.
Come on, you gotta recognize the bridge by now.
I was barely paying attention, but I was watching it on my phone as well, so, you know.
Well, I watched it on my phone. Same thing.
All right, you're a better payer of attention than I am. Sorry.
Well, you gotta see the details to tear the thing apart.
Oh, I wasn't going to tear it apart. I was just going to merely describe it and talk about our excitement at the ending after 42 years of the Star Wars saga.
Do you think that's really the ending?
No.
Like, it might be the end of the movies.
It's the end of what they're calling the Skywalker saga, except for the last two movies didn't focus on the Skywalkers.
Yeah, except for that part. But the people in the cast, like Rey and Poe and Finn, they're all young, so they might have more movies. Just a separate trilogy now, or maybe not. I don't know.
Now,
Technically, isn't What's-His-Face a Skywalker?
What's his face?
You
no,
know.
he's a Solo.
Well, yes, but his mother is a Skywalker.
Yeah.
So he's also a Skywalker. If you went
And from what I
down the
understand,
mom's line.
they call it the Rise of Skywalker because there's no more Jedi, and they just changed their name from Jedi to Skywalker.
Yeah, what if he just becomes a good guy?
Well, that's just stupid.
Well, I didn't make it up. I'm just telling you what I've been told.
Yeah.
Maybe it's to, break away from the whole polarization of it in the first place. Although it's going to happen again anyway.
Do you think
But that's why people change names for anything. They're like, oh, we're not that anymore, we're this now.
Do you think we'll see Luke? We heard a voiceover from him, but do you think we'll actually see Mark Hamill in the thing?
Probably.
I don't think so.
We're supposed to see a lot of, I was going to say Jodie Foster, Carrie Fisher, because of all the previously shot footage.
Okay.
Oh, that was a good idea.
So we'll get to see her in it at least, so that's good.
Like with Stan Lee.
Yes, and speaking of endings and things being over, Endgame came out this past weekend.
We know nothing about it.
We know nothing about it. We haven't seen it. We know it's more than 3 hours long. My brother Robin saw it, and he was all emotional about it. And everybody on Facebook was like, "Oh, it's so emotional." Couldn't tell you anything about it. I know it's Stan Lee's final cameo, and that's pretty much all I know.
That's upsetting.
Yeah.
That's the end?
That's his last appearance.
No, I don't like it.
Yeah. Oh, and apparently, I don't know if this is spoiler worthy or not, there's no end credit scene. Because, according to my brother, The Hulk was the first movie in the MCU and it didn't have an end credit scene, and so they're not doing one here to wrap up this portion of the MCU universe.
I thought the Hulk was like the one thing that didn't fit into the whole thing.
Yeah.
It did with Tony Stark, right?
It had the Tony Stark at the very end, yeah.
I thought so too. I guess my brother's full of crap.
Yeah.
So maybe there is.
He's either never watched the fully end, to the end.
Yeah.
Didn't get the stinger.
Right. This is just speculation, so there may or may not be an end credit scene then.
I understand that there's a stinger at the end of Shazam.
Yeah, they're going to grab the things at work from Marvel.
I didn't.
It's clever.
I didn't stay to see because I didn't care for that film so much, so I just left. Yeah, so that's the Endgame news. We know nothing about it.
Yeah,
but it's the final Stanley cameo.
It's
which
out.
is
Go
awesome.
see it. That's what we know.
Yep,
it's already breaking records.
It broke all the records, any records that there are.
They're taking all the money.
All the monies
Good.
go to Disney. Spider-Man comes out in July, so we'll get to see what that's. I guess that's the first one in the new phase, whatever it is. We're up to phase 5, phase 4, phase 5. I don't know what
Phase
it is.
4.
Is it? Okay, this is the end of phase 3.
It's the end of phase 3.
So many phases I can't keep up, but looking forward to seeing it one of these days when the luxury theaters are not sold out.
Yeah.
So
well, I went to watch it on Friday. Everything was sold out except for one individual seat in the luxury. I was like, well, I could go, but Katie will be mad at me.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there was no seats available in the regular theater.
Right. And
Same thing for today.
Yeah, so it'll probably be a week or two before I actually go venture out to see it, but
I'm going to see if I can get somebody to watch my kids on Monday or Tuesday.
well, there you go. Well, Tuesday's going to be crazy busy because it's cheap Tuesday.
Yeah, but if I can get the tickets today.
Well, good luck.
I haven't checked yet.
Yeah. But we'll check that out after. So there's that. What else do we have endings of? Of course, we've talked about in a previous episode. Next year sees the end of Supernatural after 15 seasons.
I think they've had about 10 seasons too many.
Okay.
It's a good show.
Never watched it.
But they had a plan for the first few seasons.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they've been winging it. It's not really something you can wing.
Okay.
And things just get, more and more without changing. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. I think so. What about Big Bang Theory wrapping up after 12 years?
We stopped watching a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been a few years since I've seen it too.
I think the last season we actually watched is when, what's-his-face got married.
Howard.
Yeah,
Howard.
Right.
I think that's the last season we watched.
Yeah, it's been a few years.
I think I watched a little bit beyond that. It was okay.
Yeah, it was fine.
I just stopped watching lots of things, though, in general.
You did, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Too much stuff to do.
There's a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
So much pop culture, so many other life events.
Yeah, I'll have plenty of time to catch up on it later.
Mm-hmm. You will, because they play it on repeat on all the channels for forever. So
It'll be there. It'll be there when I'm ready to go. Actually, you know what?
No.
I have been watching a thing, but it is old.
Oh,
It's Card Captors.
Card Captors?
Yeah, it's an anime that was released to Canada and the US in the 90s. And I realized that the children would both really enjoy it, so we've been binge watching it together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Oh, speaking of things that are old, when I was in the Sioux for Easter last weekend, I went to the Vintage Junk and Game Store where they host the NerdCon.
Yeah.
And I was looking through all the vintage toys, and I came across a Battlestar Galactica mirror from the late 70s.
Oh, I think I saw that on your Facebook.
You probably did. I had to get it. I couldn't resist it.
It's pretty cool.
Yes. So
One more mirror for your crazy mirror house that I'm terrified of.
Exactly.
It's cool, but that's a lot of mirror.
That's a lot of mirror. I have way more than anybody needs. And I saw it and I'm like...
Or do you need more?
Well, I don't think I do.
It's one way or the other, right?
Yeah. It's like my house collects
Once you have
mirrors.
that many mirrors,
What's another one?
just get some more mirrors.
That's right. But
You could turn that one room into all mirrors and scare the crap out of me
pretty
every
much,
time I come over.
pretty much is all mirrors on that one wall.
It is all mirrors.
Yeah. So, but the mirror was super cool. I had to get it. And the other thing I picked up was, you remember on Captain Picard's desk in the ready room, he had that laptop that kind of slides. And
Yeah.
Well, in the 90s, Playmates made coin banks of them.
No freaking way.
And
Did you get one?
I got one. And it's Data talking all the words.
Are you going to make a weird ready room and put it in there?
I was thinking about it. I haven't decided what I was going to do with it.
That'd be so cool.
I wanted it almost 30 years ago, and I never picked one up. And it was just sitting there on the counter. I'm like, okay, I have to get it. And I picked it up, and it still had money in it.
Speaking of Picard's ready room.
Yeah.
Did you know, I only just found this out, Josh told me recently. Do you remember the lionfish and the bubble on the wall in Picard's ready room?
Of course, his name was Livingston.
Yeah, he was a hologram.
What?
Josh told me he was a hologram.
Oh, like in real life?
No, in the show.
In the show, he was supposed to be a hologram.
Really?
Because, in real life, he was a fish because they didn't have holograms.
I never.
And, you can name holograms.
Sure. Why not?
Well, like the girl that What's-His-Face fell in love with, guy who gets, like, all the real girls also fell in love with a non-real girl. What's his name? Beardo.
What the hell is happening?
What?
I forget his name.
Riker.
Riker.
Oh, yes, he fell in love with Minuet.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
See, she had a name.
She did.
Yeah. So
Yes.
Livingston was the name
I thought you were
of his
talking about
hologram.
Geordi.
Yeah, because he doesn't get all the girls. He gets none of the girls. He fell in love with Leah Brahms.
He's not Beardo, though.
He had a beard for a
Yeah,
couple
for a while.
Yeah, for a little while, but, like, everybody knows who you're talking about when you say Beardo.
Right, the beard.
Yeah.
Yes, that's his nickname. That's true. And so before we talk about more trailers, since we're talking about Star Trek, I got some Star Trek stuff to talk about.
Blank alert. Blank alert.
Last week was the finale for Season 2 of Star Trek Discovery. You haven't seen it yet, eh?
Nope.
And you haven't?
I haven't seen anything since episode 5.
Right, okay. So it was...
You gave it all the way to episode 5?
I watched 3. Sean said, no, it gets really good. Just watch 2 more. And I watched 2 more, and it was garbage.
He didn't like it. But I did. I do.
So, there are 4 episodes of 4 seats available in luxury seating on Wednesday.
Okay. 4.
4
On Wednesday.
on Wednesday.
For 4 days from now.
Yes.
Okay.
Thursday has 24 seats available in luxury seating.
Okay.
Correction, 22.
Right. Wow. Okay, so, yeah. And they're not good seats, I bet. They're all...
These ones aren't too bad.
Okay. So there are seats available, but not very many. So everybody's watching the Endgame. But back to Star Trek. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Season 2, Star Trek Discovery, just wrapped up. The most epic space battle scene in forever. It was like a 45-minute space battle scene. I don't know how much they spent on this episode, but it was a lot. We got to see a lot of cool explosions. We got to see a shaved Spock.
Oh, wow, that sounds awful when you say it like that.
That does.
Do you mean Spock without a beard?
Yes. Yes. Because for the...
Shaved Spock. He's like a naked mole rat now.
Oh boy, that's bad. Yeah, because for the entire season he had the beard and the shaggy hair. Yeah, and so they wrap up canon because Discovery goes to the 33rd century and nobody's allowed to talk about the ship anymore. So that's how they tie it into canon. So Season 3 is going to take place 50,000 light years away in the Beta Quadrant. In the
I
future.
understand that in Star Trek Discovery you're not...
First rule of Discovery is you don't talk about Discovery.
Yeah, like, isn't it, like, not really child-friendly anymore? Don't they drop, like, F-bombs and there's, like, gross sex scenes and stuff?
Well, there was a bit of sexual trauma with the Klingon stuff in flashbacks a little bit in one of the episodes in Season 1.
And yes, they did drop the F-bomb.
Yeah, they did.
Just to make sure that they can show that they're edgy and...
We're edgy now.
But,
edgy and dark.
Yeah, but I've given up, like, watching a lot of normal adult shows because I'd rather watch shows with my kids.
I get that. Season 2 is a lot more friendlier, but they do say some bad words randomly, very occasionally. But
Like, I'm not... People can cuss, I don't care. It's just, you know, once you do it, it's hard to break the habit.
Right. Yes.
And for children who are going to school, who will get in trouble for cussing, that would suck.
It would suck. But yeah, they wrapped it up. It's really cool. We got to see a lot of the bridge from the Enterprise. We got to see a lot of Number 1 and Spock and Pike. And they're seriously talking about having a Pike series, but who knows if that'll happen. It was good.
Would the Pike series fall into proper canon?
It would. It would probably just be Pike's adventures before Kirk takes over the Enterprise. If they actually do it. Because everybody wants them to.
That would be better than...
And I think
Discovery.
It would just be like an adventure series, like maybe no arcs, maybe just random episodes where they go off on adventures. That would be cool, like proper 1960s television.
Yeah. So with Discovery, I'm going to ask some questions.
Okay.
Has it been renewed for a third?
It has.
So they're going to be in the 33rd century.
Yes.
And they're still saying they're following canon?
Now they're broken free from canon because we don't know.
No, they haven't. We've seen the future.
Yeah, but not really.
Yes, we have. We've seen whole episodes that take place in the future that deals with ships that deal with time travel.
Okay. Well, I don't have these answers.
I forget what the ship's called.
The Relativity?
The Relativity. Yeah.
I think that goes up to the 29th century. So this is even further past that.
Okay. But there's also the Future Wars, the Time Wars.
Yes. With the Enterprise J and the Temporal Cold War.
Yeah.
Right.
So that takes place way in the future as well.
There was one scene where it was the 31st century. in a possible timeline if Archer didn't go back and fix the stuff.
Yeah. So,
So it's hard to say what they're going to do. They have a whole year or more to figure it out. But, yeah, Alex Kurtzman wanted to be broken free from canon after tying it all in together and setting the scene and doing the things. And I think it was all basically an excuse to show Pike's Enterprise, really.
I think they wanted to do a show and they decided to call it Star Trek, and now that they are completely free from Star Trek, they don't have to do anything Star Trek anymore. Now they can be really dark and edgy.
Maybe. But we did not get the Borg origin story, so they totally dropped that. There was a red herring. It was lots of fun anyway. I liked it a lot. But since we're on the topic of Star Trek, I do have an article here about the cartoon that has recently been announced. I will find that for you here. You like cartoons? Anime and things?
I enjoy animated shows.
You do.
I'm not too much into cartoons. Those are distinct things.
Are they distinct things?
They are distinct things.
Oh.
In a cartoon, you can have an anvil dropped on your head and you kind of wander around going, ooh, with stars spinning around your head.
Okay.
Animated shows, most of the time, most of the ones I watch, you get dropped an anvil on your head, you die.
Right, okay, that's true. All right, so Nickelodeon's CG animated Star Trek show will follow a group of teens aboard their own ship. So the whole thing here, it says, is that it's from Kevin and Dan Hageman, who worked on both DreamWorks Trollhunters and the Lego Ninjago TV series. And they'll develop the still untitled CG animated series for Nickelodeon as part of a new collaboration with CBS. And the show itself will follow a group of lawless teens wandering the Star Trek universe seeking adventure, meaning, and salvation after they come across their own ship in the form of a derelict Starfleet vessel. Teens on the Bridge. It's an interesting angle to take for a Star Trek show, and even more interesting that CBS at least has plans to put new Trek media on places that aren't just All Access. So it's going to be on Nickelodeon and not the CBS All Access. And looks like it could be a lot of fun.
All right, so derelict starship, cool.
Yeah.
That explains how teens got it, rather than we just gave these teens a starship because Starfleet doesn't care about anything anymore.
Is that how you feel?
Well, I was wondering how they're going to get an all-teen crew.
Right.
If it's, Starfleet. They wouldn't do that.
No, so it's not Starfleet people, it's just a bunch of teens.
It's people in the Star Trek universe, which is fine.
Yep.
And they're on their own Star Trek searching for adventure. Cool, that's fine. Be in the universe. My only question is, we're used to people who've been trained for many years dealing with things on the ship. Mm-hmm. It's perfectly reasonable to go, okay, Montgomery Scott, he's a trained engineer, been trained for 4 years and became a junior engineering officer, worked his way up, learning stuff all the time, basically having several doctorates in many fields of science.
True, all true.
Teenager? How are they going to deal with trying to figure out problems or, I don't know, fix the faster-than-light engine that requires complicated physics and math?
That's probably what the show is going to be about. Them trying to fix the ship up and go on adventures, and it's always breaking down, and who knows what.
They can't make it go?
They can't make it go. They look for things to make them go, and they're not smart. But so we've got this one now. We've got the lower decks, and apparently there's going to be a more adult-themed animated show as well. So there's going to be all the cartoons, all the animation.
All right, so do we know what era it's set in?
It doesn't say. Just the Star Trek universe. So,
wow, that covers a lot.
It does. Yeah.
I think the most fun range to put that in would be original series.
That's what I think they would do too.
Because I don't think Next Gen is too
political.
High tech.
There's more to it. Yeah, I don't think Next Gen would be a good fit. And I definitely don't think DS9 era would be good. The Dominion Wars.
No, that would be bad.
And it's not going to be Voyager, which is just at the end of the Dominion Wars.
Exactly.
So that's basically the same time period. And I don't think it's going to be Enterprise era, because
there's not that many ships.
Also, they're all, except for the Enterprise and its sister ship, are garbage ships.
Right, exactly.
All right, Warp 3. Mm-hmm. We get there in 19 months.
That's right.
Where is it? Oh, it's the next star over.
Yeah.
Which is fast, don't get me wrong. I would love to have a ship that can make it to the next star in 19 months.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I wouldn't make for very much adventurous storytelling.
3 episodes after going to 3 planets, they're mid-20s.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah. So that'll come out sometime. We got the Picard series in production right now. They've started filming, and it comes out November or December.
So I trust Patrick Stewart, but I'm still leery.
Well, yeah, and we haven't seen any footage yet. It's too early, but
Yeah, so
definitely looking forward to it. What else we got? Oh, here's a trailer for the Deep Space Nine documentary.
I started to think about the title of this final episode, which is What You Leave Behind. And I started to think, what have we left behind?
We wanted to make a Star Trek show that would satisfy a Star Trek audience, but different.
We had this big black captain in your face. America, come and look at me, and I'm running your show, and this is the face of it.
One of the things that attracted me about the Star Trek was that I would be human, completely human, and brown, too. See?
It was dark and dirty, and the characters didn't all get along.
Nothing was black and white. She was a terrorist.
The show spoke about nuances of war that people don't know.
It was something totally different in the world of Star Trek.
If people aren't bothered by it or don't like it, you're doing something wrong.
With all due respect, Deep Space Nine is not really Star Trek.
It's not true. We did wonderful, painful work. It was often very painful to do.
It pissed us off.
I did feel like Alice in Wonderland being dropped into this amazing world.
I never felt appreciated on the show.
I think there was a serious intent about the war, perhaps a more serious intent.
Oh, well, I didn't know that because it seemed very funny to me.
That anger is mine! You can't have it!
I don't think that ever happened.
Don't dismiss me. Talk to me.
Only the people involved know the facts.
This is
Rashomon.
It's Rashomon.
Then we have no idea.
Everybody
I'm
has a
so
different
glad
point of
I
view.
asked this question.
Next.
We're in Vegas right now with a ton of people downstairs. They love the show. It just took them 20 years to get here.
It went where no one has gone before. It pursued the journey inside, not the journey out.
I wish I could go back and relive that just one more time.
It was like a family on the show, you know? It was like a family on the show.
That 7 years changed my life.
That's very emotional, you know?
Guess what? This is Deep Space Nine. Don't get too comfortable.
You didn't really like Deep Space Nine, eh? That was your least favorite?
It was my least favorite
Okay.
before Discovery.
Right, of course. Okay.
Now he's got a new least favorite.
Is this a documentary that you would go see in theaters?
Probably not. I don't like watching documentaries in theaters.
Okay.
The only one I've ever seen in theaters was Fahrenheit 9/11.
Ah, yes, okay.
And I don't like watching documentaries in theaters.
I got you. That makes sense.
I'd rather sit at home, be able to pause it, think about it, talk about it, and continue watching.
Right, okay. This is only a one-day only theater release event on May 13th, only in select theaters, so guaranteed it's not going to be here in Timmins.
Yeah.
So we won't even have a chance. But it looks interesting. It looks like they're having a lot of fun.
Oh, sure.
Razzing each other and stuff.
And the show was kind of enjoyable.
I loved it.
I just didn't like the overall arc.
Okay, the Dominion War arc.
Yeah. I felt like it was too
much, too long, too involved?
I didn't...
You didn't care for it?
I didn't feel it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
No, I do know what you mean. So that's the end of Star Trek news. So why don't we play a promo for another podcast here on the ESO network?
Okay, so this one is the Marathon of Rassilon.
The Watchathon.
Oh, sorry, the Watchathon, my bad. Yes, the Watchathon of Rassilon.
Yes.
It's a episode review show of Doctor Who.
Okay, well, let's play the promo.
Hi, I'm Joe Heath.
And I'm Tony Heath.
And we have a sneaking suspicion that you don't actually listen to these promos.
So we're not going to make you listen to one. Bye!
Brought to you by the Watchathon of Rassilon, a podcast where Joe and Tony watch all of Doctor Who and then talk to you about it.
Available on the ESO network or wherever else you get podcasts from.
But honestly, where else would you go?
WatchRassilon.com.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And so you listen to how many episodes?
I listened to the one episode.
Okay. The most recent, probably?
The most recent, yeah. Because I always go for the most recent, because you can't judge a podcast by,
the first dozen episodes or so?
Well, they got 100.
Oh, that's good.
And that's going back all the way to the first episode, because they're not doing individual episode recaps.
Oh, what are they doing?
Because the original series of Doctor Who was like 2 or 3 or sometimes 4 episodes were all one story.
Right, so they just do the whole story.
They're
at
doing
once.
that group of episodes.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
Production quality is high enough that there is no problem with listening to it.
Okay.
Because like you get some podcasts where they're in a tinny room or echoey, our first episodes were kind of echoey.
They were, and the most problems that we have with our show is sometimes your vaping cuts over our sounds of talking and the fridge running. So really, I try to get rid of those as best as I can.
The fridge.
But this is an independent podcast, so probably like them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I don't have a problem. Like I said, it's quality enough that you don't have any problems listening to it. And the subject matter is great.
Good.
The hosts are particularly funny.
Oh, nice. How many hosts?
2 hosts.
Okay.
And then they have intermittent guests.
Like we do.
Kind of, yeah. And I found them funny. I found it entertaining. I'm like, oh my god, I remember this episode. So, like, yeah, they're really enjoyable. Highly recommend them, actually.
Oh, good.
They might make it into my permanent listening list.
That's high praise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some I listen to,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, okay, I enjoy what they're doing. And other ones I'm like, okay, no, you're getting added in.
Right on.
Because,
yeah,
like the wrestling ones, I'm probably not going to add to my permanent list.
Mm-hmm.
I'll listen to them for quality and say if they're good enough quality.
Sure.
But this one's a type of thing I'd listen to.
Right on. That's good to know. And so they're at 100 episodes.
Yep.
And believe it or not, my other podcast, the Soul Forge podcast, is almost there as well. Episode 98 just came out this week. So it's getting there.
Wow.
Yep. So I think episode 99 will be me and my brother Robin, who just moved in with me from the Sioux, and about his new chapter in his life.
We'll go with that.
Yeah. So that's going to be this Thursday coming, and then it's big episode 100 the week after.
You got anything planned for episode 100?
Well, it's either going to be one of the Stephanie episodes that I've re-recorded, or maybe it'll be just a look-back episode. I'm not sure yet. Maybe I'll have you on for episode 100. That would be something. You haven't been on there yet.
Strippers and Blow?
Strippers and Blow, episode 100. Yeah, celebrating 100 episodes. Sounds good.
That's ridiculous.
It's
You guys are ridiculous.
Totally ridiculous. You know what's not ridiculous? The fact that we got a UK correspondent from our good friend Paul Wright.
Yay!
Remember him?
I do.
It's
been a while.
It's been a while. He used to send monthly updates, and I said to him the other month, I said, hey, why don't you send us some stuff? Because it's been a while since we've heard from you. And lo and behold, he came through. So we're just going to go ahead and we'll play his clip right here.
Hello, and welcome to the first episode of a new and hopefully improved UK Correspondent. I am Furbob, and I will be bringing you monthly reports of science, sci-fi, and general geekery news from over here in the UK. This week we take a look back at the life and times of Canadian actor Shane Rimmer, who sadly passed away last month. I always knew him as the voice of Scott Tracy from the Gerry Anderson 1965 Supermarionation show Thunderbirds. But on looking back at his career, I was blown away by how many big films he has appeared in. Here is a summary of his life. Shane Rimmer was born on May 28, 1929 in Toronto, Canada. His father, Thomas Rimmer, was a reporter and advertising copywriter from Ireland, and his mother, Vera Franklin, was from England. Thomas and Vera had both migrated to the United States, and they met each other while living in New York. They married there and then moved to Canada. In the 1950s, Rimmer had a music career in Canada, both as a singer and as a radio DJ. In 1958, he became the host of the musical television series Come Fly With Me. In 1959, Rimmer joined a singing trio called the Three Juices and started performing in the United Kingdom. Meanwhile, he had started appearing as a character actor in various films and television series, including Hawkeye, The Last of the Mohicans. In 1962, Rimmer met dancer Sheila Logan, and a year later they were married. The couple settled in London, and Sheila soon became his agent. In 1964, he landed his first notable film role in the black comedy Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, in which he played Captain Ace Owens, a crew member of the B-52 bomber. Owens serves under Major King Kong, played by Slim Pickens, in a suicide mission. His first reoccurring role in a television series was in the same year, playing the magazine editor Russell Corrigan in the soap opera Compact. Things started to look good for Shane over the next few years, as he picked up more character roles in The Saint, alongside Roger Moore, Danger Man, 2 episodes of Doctor Who, before hitting the big time in his most popular role in Gerry Anderson's Thunderbirds, the 1965 sci-fi puppet show. Not only did he land the main role of Scott Tracy, eldest son of ex-astronaut Jeff Tracy and pilot of Thunderbird 1, he also, like many other cast members, played a number of other roles.
Thunderbird 2 from Scott Tracy.
Calling Thunderbird 2 from Scott Tracy.
Hold it, Virgil! It's Scott!
Go ahead, Scott. We're coming into land right now. No, Virgil. Keep away.
Regain height and keep away from the pyramid. It's gonna go up at any moment.
But Scott, are you all right?
Don't ask questions. Just do as I say and beat it.
I told you guys no pictures.
Listen, Buster. You've done a great job here today. Now let me do mine.
I said no pictures.
Please destroy them.
In 1967, he played an uncredited role in the Bond film You Only Live Twice. As most of the Bond films and other TV series were filmed in London, if you ever needed an American actor, it was easy to get an actor who lived over here, and not far from the studios to play the roles. In 1970, Shane got the role of Joe Donnelly in Britain's, and possibly the world's, longest-running soap opera, Coronation Street. Set in the UK's northern city of Manchester, this show has run from 1960 and is still running today. Over the next few years, there were more roles in Gerry Anderson's Supermarionation shows, Captain Scarlet and Joe 90, which he also wrote the scripts for, and the live-action series UFO. There were also 2 more Bond films, Diamonds Are Forever in 1971 and Live and Let Die in 1973. In 1975 came another notable role, as a team executive in the film Rollerball, alongside James Caan, all about an ultra-violent sport run in a corporate-controlled future. The next couple of years saw more work for Gerry Anderson in the live-action series Space 1999, set on a base on the Moon, which was torn out of Earth's orbit and flung across the universe by an atomic explosion. In 1977 he landed a small role in a new sci-fi film which would change the face of sci-fi films forever.
My job on the film was to get R2-D2 into position for the final invasion.
This R2 unit of yours seems a bit beat up. You want a new one?
Well, he's a tricky customer. You get a leg in, and an arm would pop out. You get the arm in, and something else would pop out. It took a day and a half to get this 3'6" figure into the cockpit and ready to go. And by the time that we almost got there, the producer came over and said, "Look, we got an invasion. We got a war on here." So we got there, but it was just a colossal sized effort. I mean, how they kept the thing in order in the first place, I don't know. But I mean, he did, obviously, kept it well in order. So,
in the same year, he played a significant role as Commander Carter in the latest Bond film, and my personal favourite, The Spy Who Loved Me.
That armor plating must be inches thick. We'll never get through it.
Let's get to the armory.
What do you reckon to find there?
A nuclear missile.
Hey, wait!
In 1978 he played a naval transport commander in the Christopher Reeve film Superman, and after many TV character roles, returned in Superman 2 as a controller and Superman 3 as a state policeman. Living in London in the 1980s paid off, as many TV series needed an American in their show at some point, and Shane soon became the go-to guy. In 1987, a new Gerry Anderson puppet show popped up, and Shane was perfect for the role as Dick Spanner, P.I. It was about a robot detective investigating several bizarre crimes in a futuristic city in a parallel universe. Weird, but hilarious, if you like dad jokes. He's one of my favourite Gerry Anderson creations.
The name's Spanner. Dick Spanner.
private investigator. It was midnight. The streets were empty. It had been raining cats and dogs. Now it was just raining. It was the kind of night I just knew nothing was going to happen.
It's the wrong guy.
In 1988, 18 years after playing Joe Donnelly, Shane returned to Coronation Street. He played a character called Malcolm Reed. After numerous TV character parts, Shane turned up in the 2005 film Batman Begins as a waterboard technician, thus making him unique in appearing in both Christopher Reeve's Superman and Christopher Nolan's Batman. After that, and at the age of 76, Shane started to wind down his career, with his last role as Louis in the animated The Amazing World of Gumball in 2017. However, later this year, hopefully, there is a new Jerry/Jamie Anderson show, filmed in ultramarination called Firestorm. This is a throwback to the Thunderbird shows of the 1960s where puppets were used with strings from the top. This time, there will be no strings but rods from behind the puppet. The special effects are still practical and not CGI, but it is up to date and looks fantastic. It is currently in post-production and will feature Shane as his voice was recorded last year. Sadly, this will be his last role, as on March the 29th this year, Shane died at the ripe old age of 89. By all accounts, Shane was a wonderful man to work with and a true gentleman. His voice was so iconic you would recognise it before you saw his face on the screen. To me, he will always be Scott Tracy and Dick Spanner, but he was so much more. Thank you, Mr. Rimmer, for being a voice from my childhood. Well, that about wraps up this month's UK Correspondent. I'll be back next month with some more geekery science fiction news from the UK. Until then, enjoy the rest of the Rusted Robot podcast.
And that was very informative, very detailed. We talked about the subject last couple weeks when he passed away, and Paul gave us a lot more information, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I love marionation. It's a weird style.
It is.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like marionation. It's very strange.
I think the only thing done with that in the last 20 years is that of
Team
America.
World Police
Team
thing?
America, yeah.
Yeah, they don't really do a lot of that.
Yeah. So
Thunderbirds was way better.
It was. I watched a lot of that. So thanks again, Paul. We look forward to your next monthly installment.
Yeah, it was a very informative one.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yep, I like that. That was very good. So moving right along, you heard that they are canceling Santa Clarita Diet on Netflix after 3 seasons?
Oh no, I watched so many episodes.
Actually, I heard it's really good.
It
I
is.
just haven't watched it yet.
I'm in the middle of season 3 right now. That's one of those shows when it first came out, everybody was talking about it, so I didn't watch it. Just didn't,
You didn't feel like jumping on the bandwagon?
I didn't want to jump on the bandwagon. And then season 2 came out and everybody was talking about it. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to give this thing a shot just to see. It was really freaking good. Now they've canceled it. So I got 5 episodes left and then it's done.
That's disappointing. I heard it was really good.
It is really good. I finished season 3 of Van Helsing. I don't know if they're canceling that or not, but they've left it open for season 4. It's pretty good. Have you seen any of that?
We watched the first couple episodes.
Okay. Hell on Wheels. Have you seen that?
Hell on Wheels. That's
Is that the one with the trains?
That's the one with the trains in the 1800s. It's got Chief O'Brien in it and Captain Pike in it. Anson Mount and Colmini.
Okay.
It was on AMC.
Yeah.
And now it's on Netflix. And I've watched 2 episodes, and it's really good.
Okay.
From the 2-episode test. So,
yeah, all right.
Yeah, I'd watch more of it. I will eventually. Lots of stuff to watch. But here is a trailer we're going to play right now.
followed me home. The Velocipasta. A troubled priest.
How long has it been since your last confession?
Oh, it's been about 2 years. I do drugs, sell drugs, murder people. The Velocipasta. A beautiful girl with a dark past.
Last night was amazing.
What are you talking about?
The time you turned into a dinosaur and ate someone.
What? Dinosaurs.
You guys talk all the time about helping people. This might actually be the first time in your life you can.
By what? Killing people?
Yes!
Show me I mean anything to you. Show me you got better shit to do. Show me I'm the one disfigured like the match caress that trigger. Show me I mean anything to you. Show me I mean anything to you.
The Velocipasta.
That's insane, Doug. God does not want people dead.
Oh, I think God wants a lot of people dead.
And that is totally ridiculous.
Okay, so this, it looks terrible.
It looks terrible. The production quality looks like they spent $1,200.
It looks like a bunch of college actors
Yes.
got together to make this film.
Yes.
Almost like Jurassic Park suited in its quality.
It is absolutely terrible. Their special effects budget was $1.50.
Yes.
And I want to go see it at the theater.
It looks amazing.
So I'll just read the article because it's funny too. A priest turns into a dinosaur in this incredible Velocipastor trailer. We've seen teens turn into werewolves, robots turn into cars, and orphan children turn into adult superheroes. But the notion of a priest turning into a dinosaur has thus far evaded us. Thankfully, visionary director Brendan Steer has recognized that we as a species have been so long wanting for this very thing and has brought it to life in the form of the new horror comedy film Velocipastor. Yes, that's quite right, a feature film devoted to the story of a hapless man of the cloth who finds himself cursed with the ability to transform into a flesh-hungry dinosaur and all existential qualms that come with this new parlor trick, and accompanying uptick in violent carnivorous rage. If you're skeptical that such a concept can work as a film, we know you think it's better suited to the stage. Then take a look at the first trailer below, which is indeed a treat. As if the central conceit of a priest who turns into a dino weren't enough, apparently there are ninjas involved too. The film is actually an adaptation by director Steer of a short by the same name that he helmed in 2011. In the grand tradition of all those cursed Transformers before him, the priestly protagonist seems to want nothing to do with his new powers. Of course, that could be just where his journey begins. A little goading from a lady friend, plus his undeniable rage problems, and the new outlet that they have found in his scaly alter ego might end up convincing the father, played by Gregory James Cohen, that what he once believed to be a curse might actually be a gift. A mercilessly bloody, cannibalistic, and altogether insane gift, but a gift nonetheless. And there's no official release date. But
so, I have to disagree with cannibalistic.
Okay.
Because he transforms into a dinosaur.
Yes.
He's no longer human when he eats them.
Right.
Therefore, it is not cannibalistic.
I could get behind that. Yeah.
So,
Is a werewolf a cannibal while it is a wolf eating people?
no, because it's a werebeast at that point, eating people.
Yeah.
It'd be, at best, semi-cannibalistic.
But it looks amazingly bad and awesome.
Oh, it looks terrible.
It's like Tina and the T-Rex.
Yes, you did tell us about
But,
that
like,
before, didn't you?
Slightly less good quality somehow. That's a pretty ridiculous show, too.
Yes. Yes.
You know what another one is? Carnosaurus from the 90s.
I think I've heard of that.
A virus gets out and it changes eggs so that they make carnosaurs that hatch out of them and they grow really fast and they eat people. And then the virus cloud ends up reaching like a poultry farm.
Oh.
And then there are thousands of them and it's so bad. Terrible 90s CG. It was so bad. It was fantastic. I recommend it.
Where can we find it? Do you know? Is it everywhere? Is it YouTube? Probably, right?
It might be on YouTube. I don't know.
Carnosaurus?
Carnosaurus.
Yes, definitely a watch, for sure. Did you know that the first season of Lost in Space is coming to DVD and Blu-ray June 4th?
Okay.
You loved that series, so I'm sure you want to buy it, pick it up, add it to your collection.
I might need some more skeets for skeet shooting.
Yeah, you didn't really care for it, eh? Did you ever finish
No.
it off?
No,
No.
we never went back to it after the water episode.
That was the first episode.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you can't get that wrong on science.
Well, you can. And season 2's coming out sometime this year.
Yeah, no.
No.
How come that's continuing, but the Santa Clarita Diet is not?
Viewership.
It's all about who's
Seems
watching
unfair.
Same reason why Discovery's continuing. Enough people watch it,
I guess that's true.
because the average IQ is pretty low.
What are you saying there?
I'm saying that a lot of people watch the show,
Uh-huh.
and that at least half the population is idiots.
At least half?
Well, to be average,
Well, that's true. Okay.
half the people have to be below average.
Because otherwise you don't have an average.
Exactly. I'm just saying that makes for a lot of people to watch shows.
Yeah, there are a lot of shows being watched.
Yeah,
And a lot of shows not being watched.
And now, I'm not saying there's a causal link between these factors, but
Okay.
you know, I'm just stating these are factors that exist in reality.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what also exists in reality?
Many things.
That's true, and that's not a transition to anything. I'm just trying to get more conversation going because that's the end of pop culture news from this week. I got nothing else. What do you guys have?
I've been watching some new animes as they've been coming out.
Oh, good. Tell us about the new animes you've been watching.
So, lately I've been on a giant isekai kick because a lot of them are coming out.
And what does that mean again?
In another world.
Oh, right, yes.
So, there is a new isekai. We're going to pause this while I look up the exact title because my Japanese isn't great.
Hi, this is Admiral Adama, Battlestar Galactica, saying you're listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
Alright, so there are two major ones that I've been watching.
Okay.
One is Kenja no Majo.
Oh, yes.
Mago, sorry. It's your stereotypical guy dies, right? And he's reborn as a child.
Mm-hmm.
He's raised by that world's Merlin.
Okay.
And he learns magic and whatnot, and then he eventually goes off to school. It's very good.
Uh-huh.
I know it sounds super generic, and it is super generic.
Okay.
Okay. So it's good. I enjoy it. It's a big power play. Apparently the light novels have a lot of go in them.
Okay.
That's the one. It's a soft recommend to people who are into the genre. A hard recommend for people that are in the genre is Isekai Quartet.
Okay, which means what?
So, there are 4 major isekais out that are like the big known ones from this one company.
Okay.
They're Overlord.
Yeah.
Lots of people seen Overlord. It's fantastic. So I recommend everybody watch Overlord.
Okay.
There's Tanya the Evil. Saga of Tanya the Evil.
Tanya the Evil.
Okay. That's another great one. Then there's Real Life Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Where the guy, every time he dies, he's brought back in time to the point of his last save point, basically. He dies a lot. And then there's Konosuba, which is a funny take on isekai, right? Where everything's just is funny. These 4 shows have been merged into a sub-show called Isekai Quartet, where these characters in their other world are taken from their other world and put into modern-day Japan, but they're forced to go to school together.
So it's like a team-up.
Sorta.
Okay.
Except it's all chibi. So you have to watch all the other shows. So that's 72 episodes in Overlord's case, 26 episodes in Tanya's case, 20-something episodes in Real Life Zero. Season 2 is about to come out.
Uh-huh.
And then 26 episodes for Konosuba.
So it's kind of like all the Marvel Netflix shows, and then you have to watch Defenders.
Precisely.
Okay.
Except one of the shows I was going to make you go, ugh! And the whole thing is like, well, why did you make that single mistake? Because you're an idiot, because nobody likes you. Go back to your mythical city, Danny Rand.
I'm the Iron Fist, but I'm Danny Rand, and I'm the Iron Fist.
Right, okay. Okay.
I love Danny Rand. He's so stupid.
Yeah.
So those are the 2 major animes I've been watching as they've been coming out. There's a bunch of other ones, but these are the ones that are like, ooh, new episodes out.
Right. Okay. So where do you watch these? On your mythical secret spaces?
I watch them on the internets.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's good to know. So
there are many places one can watch them on the internet.
And people who watch these things would know where to find them anyway.
Yes.
So these are just new recommendations.
And these are recommendations for shows that are out right now.
Okay. Well, that's fair. Hey, you know what? We almost didn't have an episode this week. Again, that would have been like 3 weeks where there was no episode. Because this weekend, right now, in Chatham, is CK Expo.
Yeah, you were saying you were thinking you might go.
I was thinking of going. Karen and Pierre and Peter all went. That's our Klingon crew. And I was going to go, seriously thinking about it. And then this was the weekend where Brother Robin decided it's time to move in with Brother Sean and start the new chapter of his life. So, obviously, I had to be here for that. And I did not get to re-meet Paul McGillian.
Hey gang, this is Paul McGillian, Stargate Atlantis.
Gary Jones, Stargate SG-1, old school.
Thank you very much, Dr. Beckett.
Walter Harriman, gatekeeper.
We're here at Thunder Bay Comic Con having a great time, and we're with Rusty Robot Podcast.
Wahoo! Boo!
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yes, but I met him last time, so good enough. But it would have been cool to see him again. And Dr. Stevel.
Hello, this is Dr. Stevel, and you're listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast.
The Dr. Evil impersonator. He's there too.
That sounds like fun.
It was a lot of fun when we were at ThunderCon this past year.
Those are 2 promos you could have recorded.
I know.
Sean, you missed an opportunity to further our podcast goals.
Luckily, I have previous promos
from
these guys, which I've already inserted through the magic of time travel and editing.
Yes.
So, see how that works? Lots of fun, yes. So this is actually a short episode by the looks of it.
Oh, no, you're forgetting that.
Oh,
Paul's the drop in from Paul.
And the trailer or two that we're putting in,
so
and some promos. And okay, so this might actually
back to normal ring.
This will be about an hour.
Yeah.
That is true. Yes, so is there anything else we should discuss, talk about, predict for the future? Oh, this past week I was on the Earth Station 1 podcast.
Okay,
again.
flagship.
Yep, the flagship show, talking about the summer movie preview. So if you want to hear my dulcet tones on another podcast, check that out. Earth Station 1. So we talked about all the movies we're looking forward to this year. And the predictions and box office stuff.
Looks like a lot of good ones coming out.
There are lots and lots of different things. So that's it. That's all I know. What do you know? Anything else?
I don't really have any news this week.
No, that's okay. That's good.
You got some fancy dresses at the shop now.
What?
Oh, yeah.
What do you got?
Fancy dresses.
How are they fancy?
A lot of them are 1950s retro. Some of them are kind of like pastel goth.
That sounds like your style, actually. Perfect
Yeah.
for you.
It's pretty cute.
Did you buy any for yourself?
Oh, not yet.
But you're thinking about it?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I like them.
I know you do. That's your theme. That's your style.
I have a lot of dresses.
Well, summer's coming. We wouldn't know it from the amount of snow we just got, surprisingly, last night, but it's coming eventually. And it'll be here for a week and a half, and then it'll be snow again. So, good times.
I definitely have enough dresses for a week and a half.
Well, that's good. That's perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So now I'm going to wrap up the podcast and go back home and pick up that caulking gun that you lent me 3 months ago that I'm supposed to bring back and forgot about. And make sure that Robin is doing all the things in his new bedroom at my house that he's supposed to be doing, setting up and putting his clothes away. But until next time, listeners, make sure you check out therustedrobot.podbean.com for all of our media links. Share the links with your friends. Leave us a review on iTunes Store. And remember, here are some tips for becoming an adult. There are none. Don't become one. Be a kid forever. And save every $20 bill that you get. You have been listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast. To contact the show, email therustedrobot@gmail.com or tweet us at therustedrobot. Join the Facebook page and group and visit the website at therustedrobot.podbean.com. The Rusted Robot Podcast was put together by Sean and Josh and the Rusty crew. Please remember to check out our other show, the Soulforge Podcast. Visit Jump City Comics in the 101 Mall and leave a glowing review in your chosen podcast app. Thank you, and have a geeky day.
The Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
Designing the robot was a big challenge for us because the original B9 robot from Lost in Space is one of the most iconic robots of all time. So finding our own version that both honored the original but served our story purposes was a real challenge for us. One of the things that we felt was important was to have something that tied the two together. And for our robot, it's its face.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger!
The original robot, its head was this wonderful glass globe with lights inside of it. And that's the face of our robot too.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping through Amazon.com or the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.